Have you ever wondered what happens when two people with toxic traits come together? Imagine a sociopath meeting a narcissist. Sounds like a recipe for disaster, right? Well, it is. Did you know that around 1 in 25 people have traits of a sociopath, and about 1 in 16 are believed to have narcissistic tendencies? That's a lot more people than you might think, and when these two personalities collide, it's like a bomb waiting to explode. It's not just drama, it's emotional warfare. In this video, we'll dive deep into what happens when these two forces meet. We'll uncover the mind games, the manipulations, and the ultimate power struggle that leads to a toxic, yet strangely magnetic, relationship. From the clash of egos to the cracks in their perfect masks, we'll reveal how these two play each other like puppets, and how it all eventually unravels. Stick with us to learn how this dynamic truly works and what you can do to avoid falling into it. You won't want to miss it. Chapter 1: The Clash of Egos, Unveiling Their True Motives. When a sociopath meets a narcissist, the initial connection often feels magnetic. On the surface, they may seem like the perfect match, but underneath the surface, something darker is at play. Sociopaths and narcissists both crave power and control, but their motives differ in fascinating ways. Sociopaths act out of a desire for manipulation and personal gain, while narcissists are driven by the need for admiration and validation. The sociopath, according to Dr. Robert Hare, one of the leading experts on psychopathy, is charming and manipulative, using others as pawns to get what they want. The narcissist, on the other hand, is in love with the image of themselves and will do anything to preserve that image. This imbalance creates an environment where neither person feels secure, constantly battling to prove they are superior. Interestingly, sociopaths are often better at hiding their true nature. In a study conducted by the University of British Columbia, sociopaths were found to be much more skilled at reading and exploiting social cues compared to narcissists. While the narcissist is busy admiring themselves, the sociopath is plotting their next move. Sociopaths can seem incredibly charismatic at first, pulling others in with their charm. But over time, their lack of empathy becomes evident. In contrast, narcissists rely on constant praise, which leads to an unsustainable need for validation. When a sociopath meets a narcissist, the relationship starts as a competition. Both want to be the best in the room. The sociopath doesn't care about others' opinions, while the narcissist depends on others' admiration to feel worthy. This difference can lead to a standoff. Sociopaths can manipulate situations effortlessly, while narcissists demand attention to feel validated. When these two meet, sparks fly, but not in a healthy way. The relationship becomes a battlefield of egos. They will try to outmaneuver each other, using tactics like gaslighting, love bombing, and playing mind games. But the clash of egos is just the beginning, and this toxic relationship is bound to implode under the weight of its own manipulations. Chapter 2: When Charm Meets Cold Calculation, The Battle for Control. Narcissists thrive on charm, but sociopaths take it to a different level. Sociopaths are calculated, cold, and almost robotic in their approach to social interactions. When a narcissist's charm meets a sociopath's calculation, the result is a dangerous blend of manipulation and ego-driven competition. Sociopaths are experts in reading people. They are often described as emotionally hollow, but their ability to mimic emotions and manipulate people around them is what makes them so dangerous. Meanwhile, narcissists use their charm to get validation from others, and once they have it, they become the center of attention. What makes the sociopath's tactics so dangerous is their lack of conscience. According to Dr. Hare, sociopaths have no moral compass, which makes them incredibly skilled at manipulating others for their personal gain. Narcissists, however, thrive on admiration, often relying on others to boost their fragile sense of self-worth. This imbalance leads to a power struggle. Sociopaths don't care about admiration, only control. Narcissists, however, can't function without praise. So, in this relationship, the sociopath might love bomb the narcissist to make them feel special, only to later strip away that affection to create confusion. The narcissist, in turn, becomes increasingly desperate for validation. In relationships like this, manipulation becomes the primary tool for both parties. Sociopaths will play mind games, and narcissists will do anything to keep their ego intact. It's a toxic tango that can only spiral further out of control. Interestingly, research shows that narcissistic behavior is linked to a greater sense of entitlement, leading to a stronger need for domination. Sociopaths, on the other hand, use covert manipulation to maintain dominance without ever revealing their true motives. This makes their interactions tricky to spot for outsiders, but their effects are deeply damaging for those involved. Eventually, the game becomes about who can maintain control the longest. Narcissists crave attention, while sociopaths desire dominance. When these two meet, it's a battle for the ultimate prize, power over the other. Chapter 3, Toxic Tango, the dance of deception from the outside. A relationship between a sociopath and a narcissist may seem exhilarating. They may appear charming, confident, and charismatic, drawing in everyone around them. But behind closed doors, the relationship is a toxic dance that thrives on manipulation, deceit, and power struggles. The narcissist will often try to outshine the sociopath with their grandiose sense of self-importance, and the sociopath, being emotionless, simply observes the narcissist's actions and waits for the right moment to strike. Their relationship starts with seduction, one offering praise, the other offering a cold, calculating presence. Together, they create an atmosphere of thrill and danger. One study from the University of London found that people involved with narcissists often experience a slow erosion of self-esteem because the narcissist's need for constant admiration leaves their partners feeling inadequate. Sociopaths, however, have no such need for admiration, they only care about the manipulation. This creates a constant shift in the dynamic, where the sociopath pushes the narcissist to feel inferior, while the narcissist retaliates by demanding more praise. The emotional toll on both individuals is real, but they're both too trapped in their ego to recognize it. In this toxic tango, each person uses the other for their own benefit. Sociopaths manipulate situations to their advantage, while narcissists fight for supremacy, always seeking attention. Over time, the toxic dance wears each person down. Sociopaths slowly detach from any real emotion, while narcissists become increasingly desperate for admiration. The result? A constant cycle of deceit and emotional manipulation. Neither party trusts the other, but they stay together because, in their own warped way, they need each other. Interestingly, research shows that narcissism and sociopathy often coexist in the same individuals, making it even harder for them to break free from their own toxic patterns. Each feeds into the other's desires, leading to a power struggle that's hard to resolve. As both parties use manipulation to control, they reflect back their worst traits until they can't tell where one ends and the other begins. If you're finding this video helpful, be sure to subscribe for more insights into toxic relationships. We'll be covering deeper topics about healing from such dynamics in the upcoming chapters, so don't miss out. Chapter 4, Mirror, Mirror, How They Reflect Each Other's Darkest Traits. When a sociopath and a narcissist meet, they become mirrors for each other's darkest traits. Both thrive on manipulation, but their approach is different. A sociopath uses cunning and lack of empathy to control, while a narcissist relies on their inflated self-image to dominate. Together, they amplify each other's toxic traits, turning the relationship into a dangerous reflection of their flaws. Sociopaths lack the ability to form real emotional connections. They use others to achieve their goals without guilt. In contrast, narcissists crave admiration and validation, needing others to feed their fragile egos. This difference can create a perfect storm, where each person's manipulative tactics push the other to new extremes. In many ways, they mirror the parts of each other they dislike most. According to psychologist Dr. Carol McBride, narcissists create an image of themselves that they want others to see, even if it's not real. Sociopaths, however, don't care about appearances, they care about results. The narcissist's need for adoration feeds into the sociopath's desire for control, while the sociopath's cold detachment makes the narcissist feel both superior and threatened. This mirroring creates a cycle where the narcissist will demand more attention, and the sociopath will manipulate the situation to withdraw, leaving the narcissist hungry for validation. It's a loop that can be difficult for both to escape, especially when each feeds into the other's destructive behavior. A 2018 study by the National Institute of Health found that narcissism and sociopathy often coexist in the same individuals, making it even harder for them to break free from their own toxic patterns. Each feeds into the other's desires, leading to a power struggle that's hard to resolve. As both parties use manipulation to control, they reflect back their worst traits until they can't tell where one ends and the other begins. The result? A relationship of constant emotional warfare. They keep pushing each other's buttons, testing limits, and driving each other deeper into their own dark personalities. The mirror they hold up to each other reveals their deepest insecurities, which only fuels the tension. For those trapped in this dynamic, it can be nearly impossible to see where the manipulation starts and ends. The sociopath doesn't care about the narcissist's feelings, while the narcissist will take every opportunity to belittle the sociopath's tactics. This constant reflection of negative traits only deepens the psychological toll. Chapter 5: The mask cracks. When the illusions start to shatter at first, everything seems perfect. The sociopath and narcissist put on masks, hiding their true intentions and showing only what they want the world to see. But as the relationship develops, the cracks begin to show. The masks they've carefully crafted begin to slip, and the truth emerges. Sociopaths are experts at creating false personas, blending in perfectly with the crowd. But underneath that charm, they have no real emotional connection to anyone. Narcissists, on the other hand, rely on the mask of perfection to keep the world at their feet. But when they don't get the admiration they crave, the cracks begin to form. Dr. Jean Twenge, a psychologist who studies narcissism, explains that narcissists often have a fragile sense of self-esteem beneath their confident exterior. When things don't go their way, they can quickly fall apart. The sociopath's calculated manipulation only adds to the narcissist's stress, causing the mask to slip even faster. Eventually, the cracks get too big to ignore. The narcissist demands constant attention, but the sociopath withdraws, pushing the narcissist to new heights of desperation. As the sociopath's true coldness is revealed, the narcissist reacts by playing the victim, further escalating the drama. It's a constant tug-of-war for control, with each person trying to hold on to their facade. In this stage of the relationship, the sociopath may begin to show their true intentions. They never cared about the narcissist in the first place. Sociopaths are excellent at pretending, but their lack of empathy and their cold nature become harder to hide. As they continue to manipulate the narcissist, the cracks grow wider. Research shows that relationships involving sociopaths and narcissists often end in emotional destruction. One study published in Psychology Today found that people involved with narcissists and sociopaths experienced higher levels of anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress than those in healthy relationships. This psychological toll only intensifies as the mask shatters. Both the sociopath and the narcissist are skilled at deception, but over time, their own actions reveal their true selves. They are both trapped in a cycle of manipulation, with neither willing to admit the reality of their situation. The more they manipulate, the more the mask cracks, leaving them exposed and vulnerable. At some point, the truth can no longer be ignored. The illusion of a perfect relationship falls apart. The sociopath's emotional emptiness becomes apparent, and the narcissist's need for constant praise becomes impossible to satisfy. This is when the relationship begins its inevitable decline. Chapter 6: Escaping the Abyss. How to heal after the chaos. Once the relationship with a sociopath and narcissist has ended, it's easy to feel lost and overwhelmed. The emotional damage from such a toxic partnership can leave deep scars. However, escaping the abyss of a narcissistic sociopathic relationship is possible with time, self-love, and support. The first step in healing is recognizing that the relationship was unhealthy from the start. According to Dr. Sherry Steins, a clinical psychologist who specializes in trauma, understanding the manipulative tactics used by narcissists and sociopaths is the key to breaking free. This awareness allows victims to see the pattern of abuse and begin to detach emotionally. Healing begins with reclaiming your sense of self. Sociopaths and narcissists often strip their partners of their confidence and self-worth. The damage done to self-esteem can be profound. But with time, it's possible to rebuild. According to a study by the American Psychological Association, People who seek therapy after toxic relationships tend to recover much faster than those who don't. Setting strong boundaries is another crucial part of recovery. Both sociopaths and narcissists test limits, constantly pushing for more. But once you've broken free from their influence, you need to enforce boundaries to protect your peace. This means saying no without feeling guilty and avoiding any contact that could lead back into the relationship. Incorporating self-care into your daily routine is vital. Whether it's meditation, exercise, or journaling, taking care of your mind and body helps rebuild your strength. A study published in JAMA Psychiatry found that mindfulness-based practices can reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, both of which are common after toxic relationships. Finally, seeking professional help can provide a structured way to heal. Therapy with a licensed counselor can help process the trauma and build resilience. According to a 2019 article in Psychology Today, therapy helps individuals develop healthier relationship patterns and rebuild their self-worth. Healing from a narcissistic sociopathic relationship isn't easy, but it's absolutely possible. With patience, self-love, and support, you can rise above the chaos and emerge stronger, wiser, and more in tune with your true self. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more advice on navigating relationships and healing from toxic dynamics. You won't want to miss our upcoming content.